is some kind of little voodoo doll that somebody gave me. They brought back from Africa. This one here.
All right, hold on a moment, folks.
I don't think it's old. I think it's just some tourist shit. But they did bring.
Look nice.
They did bring it back from Africa.
And
this right here is some type of Jewish star, wisdom and some kind of protection. I don't know quite what it is.
Okay.
And of course, the other one is the sign of suffering, the traditional cross of the Christians. I just try to keep myself covered.
Try to keep yourself covered with knowledge, huh?
No.
And what else?
You never know what's out there.
So let's talk about, since we know that you got an F in school, and you definitely remember the teacher that gave it to you. Tell me, out of all the teachers, which one was, we used to get a spanking in school, you know, if we messed up. And Mrs. Hayworth was my English teacher, and she was the worstest one for me. I mean, she tore me up constantly. What teacher, when you think of punishment and teachers, which one come to mind?
Once again, a couple people. One was this dude. It was his name that scared us more than anything. He was the shop teacher.
Yeah.
And this is, I guess, around the 7th or 8th grade. This dude. Anyway, he had a paddle with holes in it.
Oh yeah, the chopping board.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was scared. But had us fucked up more than anything was his name. His name was Mr. Waterberg. You know what I'm saying? He just sounded like a, because around this time, man, this is like the early 60s, late 50s. You know, they had a lot of Nazi movies on TV about how the Nazis and the SS were so vicious and mean.
And so that's how the name scared you?
He always made us think of Nazis, you know?
What happened,
but the teacher who was the...
let's talk, I want to spend a lot of, majority of the time, really, questions going to be, you know, if it's too much you can tell. We're going to stay at 4.
Okay.
Okay.
That's an interesting time in my life.
All right, let's just start the beginning of your birthday was. Let's just start the beginning of that year, because that's when you tragedy or family displacement.
4 years old was like, I don't know, man. I guess it's a period when I became knowledgeable that I was a person. You know what I mean? I actually was aware of the things going around me, my interaction with other people. Like, for instance, I learned how to swim at 4 years old. I was talking earlier today with Martha about being baptized as a Lutheran. And I was around that same age, between 4 and 7. All these things took place. I saw the first time I saw somebody get killed, for real. Well, I didn't see the killing, but I was there for the drama leading up to it, and when they brought the body out, you know.
That was the first time you saw a dead body other than a funeral?
Well, first time I actually saw that whole scenario play out where somebody gets killed, you know. I didn't see the killing because it took place in a building. But I was there when the police had the building surrounded, and there wasn't no news crews and all that kind of shit then. It was just the police. And maybe it was like 4 police cars at first. And this guy then first it was 4 police cars. And then it got real hectic because this guy shot like 6 or 7 people.
Whoa.
Inside this building that he was in. And they said that he went crazy. He went berserk.
Was it
from the shit he had suffered from during the war? I think it was World War I.
Oh, PTSD. Then
yeah, and so he got out his own M1 and just went to work.
Was there anything else major at 4?
Like I said, I kind of feel like I came into my own at that point. I mean, I came into the idea that I was somebody and I could interact with people. I just understood some small shit at that time.
All right, let's jump to 5.
Like I said, between 4 and 7, it's all one little blur of time. You know what I'm saying? Because at around 7,
what's happening in the family?
My mother had a sister. My mother had another baby. I started going to school, you know, which is a new thing. Like I said, I became aware of myself because I realized I had a friend at this point who stayed around the corner.
What happened when your mama had the baby?
That was deep shit.
Did you know about it before the baby came?
I didn't understand it before the baby came. I just know that one day they said, you having a baby sister. My mother was big anyway. She was kind of fat, so I never really noticed that she had gotten pregnant. Or I even knew what pregnant was at that point. I just know that she said she was going to have a baby and I would stay with the camera. Weeks. Bam. And I did, and that was the first time I'd ever been away from her.
When the baby came, Was there any animosity, jealousy, or at that age for you? Did you feel left out, or
Well,
how did you feel?
like, once again, I think it was one of those situations where the family dictated my feelings about it. I was
No, they dictate your movements and things. They didn't dictate your feelings.
What I mean is that I was expected to be happy that I was having a baby sister.
Well, how
So
did
I
you
was.
feel? Are you sure?
So I was. Well, I guess I don't have no problems with her at all. Strangely enough,
You didn't never feel left out or anything?
no, because it was all women around me, and so a girl child wasn't as valuable to them as a boy child was.
You,
My aunts just loved my ass. You know, my sister, I don't know about that so much.
but it was other male figures your age, relatives around you, your cousins, them, and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, kind of. Most of my cousins.
I mean,
cousins,
blood.
Yeah, so I'm saying most of my first cousins were my mother's age.
Oh, okay.
You did, because my mother was the last of 14 kids. You know, the time she got to be 10 years old, her sister was 24, and she already had kids. You know, so my mother would have kids. Anyway, so
What happened at 8?
Mostly second cousins.
What happened at
8? I really just am just starting to get the school thing down pat.
9.
Same thing. I'm just kind of.
Let's talk about the end of the 9, because at 10 is where family separation came.
Well, it already been. My mother was a stepfather, and
All right, then stop.
yeah, he was a good guy.
Now, when did that happen? 4,
I
7.
guess around 7 or 8, him and her
All
got
right.
together. She
All right.
had a
Let's talk
stroke.
about 6 then. Before your mother is intact, she
Yeah.
don't have nothing. See,
Just me and my sister.
when did your mother start? When did her life in your life? When did she start having problems?
Right. Okay. That's about 10 years old.
You was about 10.
About 10, she had. About 10, she was just kind of. We was living in the country, and I do mean in the country.
Okay, that was at
We
10.
living on the road, you know, this ain't not the street. And
Are you still with your father? Your mother don't separated, right?
They've been separated.
Now,
Since 5.
Let's go. When did they separate?
Around 5. That's
You
what
said nothing happened between 4 and
Well,
7 now, cause that's
Well,
something happened.
saying, all these things I'm talking about
Okay,
take place during that time.
that wasn't coming into your own. That was all right. At 5, when did you know it was going to happen? When the first knowledge you came that your mother and father was going to break up?
See, that's what I'm trying to say. The breakup was kind of nothing to me, because I had always lived with her. I never lived with him and her together.
Oh, your original mother and father never lived together with you.
Not with me being there. I think after I was born, that's when they decided they weren't going to live together. And so she moved in with a friend of hers, who I call my aunt. And like I said, I was 4 when they were getting a divorce.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
but like I said,
okay.
he was 30 years older than her. So there's a lot of shit with that as I understand it now. I didn't understand none of it then. I just knew that, I guess I had to accept the fact that he didn't come around no more than he did anyway. I just knew that they had gotten divorced. They weren't together. When I really got to know my father, he was with my stepmother, and I would have visits over their house. You know what I'm saying? He would come and get me from my mother, and then he would take me over there for the weekend or some shit. And I thought she liked me at first. No, let me take that back. She did like me as a kid, my stepmother. But when my mother died, I was 12. And it took 2 years of fighting through the courts for me to get to live with my father. By the time I got to
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. All right, let's go to 9. Let's go to 9. Your mother is just getting ready to. She's just beginning
to
to
the country,
move
back to the city, so that my mother could be closer to her sisters.
And she didn't have, at this time around the 9, she didn't have any.
No outwardly health problems that I could see.
Okay. Now we're gonna pick it up, because we had 9 minutes and 46 seconds, and take a 10 minute. We're gonna pick it up again. Like I said, this is gonna be a very long thing, but we're gonna pick it up again with your mother just getting sick at 10. 10, you said?
Yeah.
9 at 9.
Somewhere.
So this is part 2.
Bam.